All right, so today I'm going to show you how to create your slides for the student-led conferences. So first of all, the first slide, slide 17, is about communicating information. So an important skill in science is to be able to clearly communicate complex ideas or clearly explain them. So we've been developing this skill all year. We do class discussions, we work in groups. And one of the things that we do that has been working on this skill is actually creating your Flipgrid videos. Sometimes I ask you to explain some really complex ideas. And so what I want you to do is go to my.flipgrid.com. It will ask you to log in with your Google account. All right, so you'll just type into the URL bar my.flipgrid.com. And if you scroll down, it'll show you all the videos that you've made. I've made a lot of videos, and this will be for all of your classes. So you want to make sure that you find one for science, and the goal is to find one where you think you've clearly communicated an idea. So from there, once you find it, you're going to go to Actions, download this video. So once this pops up, you will want to save it to your Google Drive by clicking this button. And go ahead and confirm that. I'm doing this on a different computer. It's not a Chromebook, so it might look a little bit different for you. But it's going to go ahead and save it to your drive. And then from there, once that is downloaded, and you have to wait for it to be downloaded, that took a minute for me, okay? You will go over here and go to Insert, Video, and then you'll go into your Google Drive, okay? I would recommend going into Recent, even though I think it was the first one that popped up, right? And this should be the video for me. So I would just select that and then put it right in here. So there we go. That's the first step. Okay, next up, uncovering misconceptions. So this is another big part of science. There's a lot of misconceptions we have to uncover in order to successfully change our thinking. So I want you to go into Schoology and find the forces in motion pretest, okay? That's going to be in the forces, motion, and energy folder, and it should be right here at the beginning. You should be able to go in and look at how you've done. So I actually want you to go into the forces in motion pretest, look at what you did, and really try to find a misconception or at least one way that your thinking has changed. Okay? And back here, I want you to describe how your thinking has changed. So maybe here's an example. What's something that we've learned about? Ooh, number 6. This was a common misconception. Okay? Maybe you thought, that there was a force being carried with a bowling ball. And now you know that's not true. It's actually the reason why the bowling ball is at a constant velocity is because there is actually no net force being applied to it. It's a balanced force. We learned about this yesterday, you guys. So maybe I'm going to talk about this. So I would go back over here and type in, I used to think that objects carried forces with them, and I would type that all in this section right here, for example, and you can even talk about this question. And now my thinking has changed because I realize that objects can't carry forces, but they just keep moving because they have inertia. So that would be one example of something you could do. This should be 3 to 5 complete sentences here. Moving on to the third slide for science, all right, slide 19. Find your science and engineering practices slide from fall conferences. So I actually want you to go into your Google Drive and try to find your fall conference slideshow. I want you to copy it and paste it to the presentation so it is the next slide. Here is how you do that. All right. Let's say you find your old presentation. Here's how you copy a whole slide. You right-click on the slide over here, and then you copy. All right, and then when you get back over here to this slideshow, you'll just over here edit, paste, okay, and it should work. And let's say you can't find it. I'll talk about that in a minute. But basically, what I want you to do is Put a heart next to the practice that you feel most confident in, okay? This might be more than one at this point in the year. You might have several skills that you're like, you know, I'm great at doing these things. And then for fall conferences, you put a star next to a practice you want to improve upon. So what do you think now that we're looking back on it? If you feel like you improved on that skill, leave the star there, okay? If you feel like you improved on a different skill, I want you to move the star or add another star. So the stars are going to show areas of improvement. Leave the self-assessment emojis from last time, but add new ones next to the others in a different color. All right, so we just want to make them red. You know, smiley face for one of your strengths, merp face for I'm still developing this skill, or a sad frowny face for this is a skill I would like to improve upon. I don't really like that it's a sad face because you know what? Having things to improve upon is not necessarily a bad thing. Now, let's say you can't find your slideshow from last year or you were not here because you're a new student. Well, I put slide 20 in there and that's what it looks like. Let's say you were not here, or you don't need this because you found yours from the last one. Just delete this whole slide, okay? So this slide is only for people who cannot find their previous slideshow. So just keep that in mind. Let me know if you have any questions. So what I would like you to do is make sure you finish up all these slides. Feel free to raise your hand and ask me if you have any questions about them. And when you're finished, I'd like you to look at the board and move on to the next step from there.